Nishnatam yogam ayasu, Nishnatam yogam ayasu, Munim swayam bhuvam manum, Yada granchayatum bhoga, Nasheko bhagavat param, Nishnatam yogam ayasu, Munim swayam bhuvam manum, Yada granchayatum bhoga, Nasheko bhagavat param. The Sambhu Manu was a saintly king. Although absorbed in material happiness, he was not dragged to the lowest grade of life, for he always enjoyed his material happiness in the Krishna conscious atmosphere. Purport by His Divine Grace H.G. Vraja Krishna Prabhupada. The kingly happiness of material enjoyment drags one to the lowest grade of life. You can put other words directly from here. It is not from The kingly happiness of material enjoyment generally drags one to the lowest grade of life, namely degradation to animal life because of unrestricted sense enjoyment. But Swayambhu Manu was considered as good as the saintly say because the atmosphere created in his kingdom and home was completely Krishna conscious. The case is similar with the conditioned souls in general. They have come into this material life for sense gratification. But if they are able to create a Krishna conscious atmosphere as depicted here, or as prescribed in the scriptures by temple worship and household deity worship, then in spite of their material enjoyment, they can make advancement in pure Krishna consciousness without a doubt. At the present moment, modern civilization is too much attached to the material way of life for sense gratification. Therefore, the Krishna conscious movement can give the people in general the best opportunity to utilize their human life in the midst of material enjoyment. Krishna consciousness does not stop them in their propensity for material enjoyment, but simply regulates their habits and the life of sense enjoyment. In spite of their enjoying the material advantages, they can be liberated in this very life by practicing Krishna consciousness by the simple method of chanting the holy names of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Magyantimitandasya Jnanam Chakshumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Bhagati Syavadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shrita Padamnam Shri Guru Vishnuvam Cha Shri Rupam Sarijatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Samvetam Samvetam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitam Cha Namo Vishnuvalaya Krishna Vishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gautamani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyamadi Pashadi Shatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Name Gauratachi He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namotate Kaptaganjan Gauraki Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishwanamtate Devi Paramami Hari Priya Vancha Kalpatarubhya Kripa Sindhu Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vishnavebhyo Namo Namah Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivadadi Gauravatanda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So, so this is beautiful verse which we also discussed last Tuesday. That whether you are in one or whether you are in a kingdom, what is most important is glorifying the Supreme Lord. And here is an example of Manu. Now, in one sense, city life, no matter whatever life, is a kingly life. When you're living in a city, even brahmacharis also, when they're living in city, it's a kingly life. Especially ISKCON temples are like palaces. So how Manu Maharaj is passing his life, that is very amazing. So who is Manu? Of course, all of us know. But let's understand his environment, his situation. He's the first created human being by Brahma. Swambhu Manu. And from him everything started. It was the first kingdom, the original king, the Manu. The first king, the original king. And he started doing management of kingdom. But that kingdom management, and naturally king will have lot of things for enjoyment. Right? Because all the costly things are there, all the comforts are there, people singing the glories. But the verse mentioned, even though Gandharvas were singing his glories, his management was so perfect. Generally in Kali Yuga, people criticize the government no matter whatever they do. But Manu's government, everybody was glorified.
The first person over the kingdom outweighing
the first king is there. But the kingdom is there. And how the kingdom is there, it's Achintai. But the kingly dynasty started from him. But how the other human beings came, so again, Achintai is a big matter. So all are not his santan. But the kingdom is there. And what is he doing in his kingdom? Is absorbed in glorifying the Lord. And Prabhupada writes in our purport, there's a culture of Shanai. Yeah. I don't know if you've gone to some traditional temples or even Tirupati, that is make the Shanai. And the Shanai
wake up and sleep.
Sounds very powerfully, the Shanai. And the and then it gives a very auspicious atmosphere it creates. And then the glories of the Lord is going on there. So here the Manu so proper life say kingly happiness drag one to lowest grade of life. But though Swayambhu Manu created in his kingdom and home was completely Krishna conscious. And at the present moment, modern civilization is too much attached to the material world of life or sense gratification. Therefore, the Krishna conscious movement can give the people in general the best opportunity to utilize their human life in the midst of mental enjoyment. Krishna consciousness does not stop them in the propensity for mental enjoyment, but simply regulates their habits in the life of sense enjoyment. In the spite of their enjoying the mental advantage, they can be liberated. Now you go and tell people, perform some austerity, give us some good influence. We give you only. We give you only, and they will not come to the program. The moment if you talk about give up self-gratification, especially in a family life, you said give up self-gratification, impossible. Yeah. So, but here Prabhupada is giving a secret of preaching. How we can preach on a larger basis. Regulate people's life of sense enjoyment and absorb their mind in Krishna consciousness. Regulate the life of sense enjoyment and absorb the mind in Krishna consciousness, and naturally person will be liberated. And another verse comes in Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto, 20th chapter, 9th verse. which talks the same thing about Bhakti Yoga. Tavat karmani kurvita nanirvedeta yavata matkatha shravanadoha shraddha yavana jayate yatchaya matkatha jata shraddha tuya puman nanirvinno natisakto bhakti yogasya siddhida. If somehow or other, by good fortune, one develops faith in hearing and chanting my glories, such a person, being neither very disgusted with nor very attached to material life, should achieve perfection through the path of loving devotion to me. If somehow or other, good fortune, so what is the two condition for Bhakti Yoga? Na nirvana. If person has too much desire for moksha and everything material is miserable, he will not able to practice bhakti. And na ati sakto. And neither he is very attached to material life. One is attached to material life, then also he will not able to come to temple. So a balance is required. Then such a person should achieve perfection through the path of loving devotion to me. See, in the scriptures, there are three paths: jnana, karma, and bhakti. So here, Krishna says, my dear Uddhava, because I desire that human beings may achieve perfection, I presented three paths of advancements: jnana, karma, and bhakti. And beside these three, there is absolutely no other means of elevation. So all the path will be either karma, jnana, or bhakti. No, say yoga, no. Karma yoga, jnana yoga, bhakti yoga. Is it? So all the purpose is yoga only. But three paths which people will follow will be karma, jnana, and bhakti. Like one boy was asking question that it's not that people are just joining in ISKCON. People are joining other organization also. One ISC boy, he left ISC and joined some other organization. So if bhakti is the ultimate path, then why people are going to other paths? People should come to the path of bhakti. But because the Lord has made these three paths of karma, jnana, and bhakti, so those some people are the path of karma. That they will do some karma kand exercises. So there's a path of karma, or selfless work, nishkam karma. Some will be in the pursuit of knowledge, jnana, reading scriptures, worshiping. And but it is said by doing karma selflessly, one comes to the platform of jnana. When nishkam karma yoga, person comes to the platform of jnana, that time he can give up karma. Person who has come to the platform of jnana should cultivate bhakti. And he can give up jnana once he cultivates bhakti. But bhakti should never be given up. So ultimately, whatever path people are leading is to bring them to the path of bhakti. This Krishna only writes in Uddhava Gita. Very right. So everyone is on that path of karma, jnana, and bhakti. Right. And this was towards so karma, those are too attached to material life. Karma is the way. चलो बहुत पैसा कमाओ थोड़ा भगवान को दे दो. They're attached to earning money. They're attached to some gratification. So you tell them, "Oh, go chant Hare Krishna." Money नहीं लगता. It's time ही नहीं है chanting Hare Krishna. ठीक है. Give some charity to the Lord. Karma yoga started for them. And those are too attached to jnana. You say, how a Lord can have a form? ठीक है, ठीक है. You keep speculating about Atma. Sankhya. There. So those paths are made for those who cannot directly accept the Supreme Lord or understand devotional service to Him. But Sandhu Manu is an example of a bhakti yogi. That though he is a king, living in the palace, but he's using everything for glorifying the Supreme Lord. He's using it for glorifying the Supreme Lord. So among the three paths, Jnana Yoga, the path of philosophical speculation, is recommended for those who are disgusted with material life and others detached from ordinary fruitive activities. Those who are not disgusted with material life, having many desires yet to fulfill, should seek perfection through the path of Karma Yoga. But those who are not very attached, neither detached, should take the path of Bhakti Yoga. And this purport says somehow or other one gets the association of pure devotee to the Lord and hears from them the transcendental message of Lord Krishna, then one has a chance to become a devotee of the Lord. As mentioned in the previous verse, those who become disgusted with material life take to impersonal philosophical speculation and rigorously try to stamp out any trace of personal existence. Those who are still attached to material sense gratification try to purify themselves by offering the fruits of the ordinary activities to Supreme Lord. A first-class candidate for pure devotion, on the other hand, is neither completely disgusted nor attached to material life. He does not desire to pursue ordinary material existence further because it cannot avoid real happiness. But he does not give up all hope of perfecting personal existence. So, person to avoid, then such a person is until a time person achieves, as long as one is not saturated by fruitive activity, and is not awakened his taste or devotion service by Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, one has to act according to the regulative principles of the Vedic injunctions. So the whole purpose is to awaken our interest in hearing the glories of the Lord. So the verse comes in Bhagavatam, if one has not developed the eagerness to hear about the glories of the Lord, Shramevi Kevalam. So the whole purpose of this duty is what one is doing, because some is the karma path, some is the jnana path, is to ultimately come to hear the glories of the Supreme Lord. And for the people of Kali Yuga who cannot give us sense gratification, Jnana Yoga is practically non-existent for them. To give up, follow the austerities and everything. But the path of bhakti is very easy for them to follow. It's very easy for them to follow the path of bhakti. And people first come, chant, dance, have festivals, they come to Janmashtami. Oh, so nice it is. Nice prasadam, nice kirtan. It's very nice. And then slowly they start coming to the classes, start understanding the subject matter. And then further they become devotees. So here we see, like in Vrindavan, one time fruit vendor lady came. She's coming from far off village. She's not coming from Vrindavan. She's coming from a far off village, taking the fruits. And she's singing, Fallelo, Fallelo. And Krishna comes with his little hand. Krishna comes with his little hand taking the grains. Now, a small child, how much grain he will hold. So by the time Lord actually came out, few grains remained. Most of the grain have fallen. Few grains remain and most of the grains have fallen. And those grains he gave to this fruit vendor lady. Now this fruit vendor lady got so attracted to Krishna's form. She had not read the Vedas, she is not a Jnani. She got attracted to Krishna's form and thought, I want to please this child. She gave so much fruits to Krishna. Krishna went and distributed those fruits. Again Krishna came. And again this fruit vendor lady distributed the fruits to Krishna. Again Krishna did. And whole basket was empty. And she was so happy giving fruits to Krishna, she forgot what I got. So this is the power of bhakti. So she is coming to sell the fruits for making money, but being attracted by Krishna, she forgot why I have come. But Krishna reciprocated many times. When she went, she saw the whole basket was full of jewels. But she was more interested in Krishna when Krishna's form than the jewels also. So by this process of Sankirtan, people forget their sense enjoyment. But even what sense enjoyment also they do, it doesn't become harmful to them. It just becomes a part of their life, provided you don't break the four regulative principles. there. And the prasadam, like sometimes devotees will advise Prabhupada, don't eat puri, health is not good. So keep aside this bhukkad marathon. I want to eat nice prasadam.
I'm a spiritual person. You have to give me.
So and Prabhupada will take nice prasadam. Why? He was fully engaged in Krishna consciousness. Fully engaged in Krishna. A nice prasadam. And this is it. Chaturvida Shri Sudana Tirthan Haribhatta Sadhan. Kiteva Tritne Bhajata Sudeva Vande Guru Shri Chanarvinda. There. So Spiritual Master is very happy seeing the disciple enjoying nice prasadam. There. And their festivals. Festivals are so nice, right? Dancing kirtans, whole katha, abhishek, and then nice prasad, nice Ranamrit. Everything is there when you have a festival. Same way, Bhaktivinoda Thakur has sing. Shraddha Bhakata Charana Renu Bhajana Anukula Bhakata Seva Parama Siddhi Premalati Taramula. So it listed all the items of devotional service. Who? Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And at the end, after listing that I'm enjoying these devotional items, I'm so happy doing this. Garhate Golok. My home has become Golok Vrindavan. Why? Because he's Krishna conscious fully. Same example of Prataprudra Maharaj. So Prataprudra, because he was a king, was not getting the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he thought, better I give up my kingdom. But devotee said, no, don't give up the kingdom. If you give up the kingdom, Nawab Hussain Shah will come and nobody will be able to practice bhakti. So they didn't told it, but that was a political situation that time. So then the king continued, but king became an interim part of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's party. So initially he had a tough time. But when king gave up his kinglyship, when king gave his kinglyship, what happened? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yeah. So first, the king was taking part in Lord's Kirtan and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu fainted. Before that, king had done Jhadu. So that had little bit softened Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's heart towards King Prataprudra. Then when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was dancing, he fainted. So king lifted up. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got up saying, Vishai, Vishai, Vishai. Sounds ridiculous. So a little more was, there's no hope for me. And then Sarvam Bhattacharya said to the king that you dress yourself as a simple Bengali Vaishnava, and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu go to Jagannath Vallabh garden, you massage your street. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very happy. And he started singing Gopi Gita. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, sing, sing, sing. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced King Prataprudra. And then asked, who are you? And the king said, but I'm servant of the servant of the servants, my lord. If I tell I'm a king again, Vishal. So he understood his real identity. And then now onwards, king was living happily in his place, hearing Katha about Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, taking part in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastime, despite being a king. Of course, some people in the political history accuse him that because he became a devotee, so that's why his political reason became a little lesser. There. But he went home back to garden while doing his kingly activities and staying at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this is what a kingly life, the life of Sambhu Manu. So that goes to show that before we tell people for renunciation, first we should give Krishna consciousness to people. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, a person can follow that level of austerity to the level one has developed bhakti. If somebody try to follow more level of austerity than their bhakti, that austerity will not be permanent. So the rules and regulations should follow bhakti yoga. So to the degree one has developed the devotion, naturally person's desire to follow rules and regulations will come. And then they should be know what the rules and regulations. But as their bhakti improves, as their bhakti gets up, then to that degree, person will follow the rules and regulations. There. So, but the bhakti goes in the front. Now, just think the boys are coming. Why they will agree to follow rules and regulations? How should that be so nice? Why they should come into it? Only when they like our program, like prasadam, then they will, इसके लिए करेंगे. But first they have to develop a taste. And that's the art of preaching. If you make Krishna conscious attractive to people. See, Prabhupada, see what kind of people came to Prabhupada? There. When Bhakti Saraswati disciples, they went to preach in London. So Jacqueline wanted to become a Brahmana. They said you have to give up meat eating, intoxication, no gambling, no illicit sex. They said impossible. He said impossible. Now, Srila Prabhupada also went to West. And they were also doing all those four things, except illicit sex and intoxication. They were fully into it. But Prabhupada tricked them by giving higher taste that they forgot all this illicit sex, got them married, intoxication, and all that happened. So that's the genius of a preacher. The Prabhupada said to preach the way I preach. And automatically, with strong association, strong devotee association, automatically renunciation comes. And this renunciation which comes by Bhakti Yoga is a stable renunciation. See, initially, a person may have impetus for renunciation of the business of this world. Life is very miserable, let me renounce. But Prabhupada says renunciation becomes stable when one goes to Bhakti Yoga. It stabilizes. Because Anandmayo Bhayasat. The nature of the jiva is to enjoy. When a person gives a sense gratification, becomes vacuum, his mind becomes very disturbed and very perturbed. The person's mind becomes very disturbed and perturbed. Also, I thought many devotees will not be there next week to take next week's shloka a little bit. Vishambhena Shachena Gauravena Damena Shishushaya Samhidena Vacha Madhuraya So what happened? So now Sambhava went away to the palace and Sambhava was enjoying his life. And Sambhava passed one mantra lifespan. Can you remember one mantra lifespan, how much it is? See, we find difficulty in spending 100 years of Kali Yuga or 50 years of Kali Yuga. Now, one Kali Yuga cycle, one Dwapar Yuga cycle, one Treta Yuga cycle, one Satya Yuga cycle. Into 72 or 71 is called one mantra. And that much time he passed hearing the glories of the Lord. He was so absorbed. And he was contemplating upon it, writing upon it. And actually, to a degree, we make our life based on Shravan and Kirtan. Go do Kirtan. Hear Bhagavatam, repeat Bhagavatam. Then you feel there is nothing as such joy in a spiritual life. There is nothing except joy in a spiritual life. Why? Because of hearing and chanting Srimad Bhagavatam. So if a devotee is absorbed in this culture of hearing and chanting Srimad Bhagavatam, naturally the lifespan, how it passes by, person does not know. And that is the glory of Srimad Bhagavatam. If you see again and again, Srimad Bhagavatam, same truth has been brought about. Bhagavad-gita. Hear Srimad Bhagavatam. The glories of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. The glories of the holy name. The glorifying the Lord. So whatever situation we are in life, if we just make our focus hearing, see what is preaching? Preaching is glorifying the Lord. And we should make sure that our management should not be so much there's hardly time for preaching. Sometimes the management becomes so much there is no time to give classes and meet the boys and talk to boys about Krishna Katha. And whole time goes in cooking. It happened also. One time devotee did a program. So whole day they did cooking. But they didn't have time to meet the boys only to know who the boys have come. So I said, what's the use? Make a simple menu, but give more time for the boys to discuss Krishna Katha. There. So our management should be in such a way that we have more time to do Krishna Katha. In fact, the whole purpose of management is we enable senior devotees to speak Krishna Katha. The whole purpose of management there. That is speak Krishna Katha. And then the life is very joyful. And you can have 1-to-1 Krishna Katha, 1-to-2 Krishna Katha, 1-to-10 Krishna Katha, 1-to-100. Means one person speaking to one person speaking to 100. Does not matter. But speak Krishna Katha. Or read proper books together. In this culture, and this is the best way of preaching. There. And that way person. And the whole purpose of management is that this Krishna Katha program goes smooth. Why accounts department? So that Krishna Katha program goes smooth. Other devotees will have fighting, ye paisa idhar gaya, ye paisa udhar gaya. There will be tension. The purpose. Why cleanliness department? So place is clean so that we can do Krishna Katha and glorify the Lord. There. So why kitchen department? Bhoke pet na bhajan na ho Gopala. Devotees there, prasadam is there. Don't worry, Krishna Katha. And that is why people renounce also, no management. If somebody doesn't like management, go to jungle. No management. Whatever fruits come, eat it. Chant Hare Krishna, read Bhagavad. And if you cannot do that, then do management when you're living in the city. Don't say, I don't know how to do management. Either become so renowned that go and live in jungle like Sudhir Goswami. If you're living in the city, do the necessary management so that everybody can do Shravan and Kirtan. So one should not take management also as a important. Because the purpose is Shravan and Kirtan. The purpose is not manage. Purpose is not to control. Purpose is to Shravan and Kirtan. And this is one problem happens when we too much goes into management, we forget the purpose of management. And the problem is devotees nahi sun rahe hain. Devotees respect nahi kar rahe hain. Even I face this problem. Means anybody doing management, they always face this problem. कि devotees proper respect नहीं करते, devotees सुनते नहीं हैं, ये problem आ रहा है management में, ये हमारी नहीं सुन रहा है. So person gets stuck up with the management rather than the purpose of management is to do Shravan and Kirtan, to purify our heart and to do Shravan and Kirtan. So then management becomes a burdensome for the person. But the purpose of management is that other people chant and hear. That I get more opportunity to chant and hear. So that should be the purpose of management. And that's what Swayambhu Manu did. Now his purpose of management was Shravan and Kirtan. Now just think if Praja is saying that a king is hearing the glories of the Lord when morning he is getting up. And in Kali Yuga, all of us have the same opportunity. Now previously, kings only can afford it. Ki Shahnai baj rahi hai, glories ho rahi hai. Normal people cannot afford it. But in Kali Yuga, everybody can afford it. In a smartphone, jukebox, Kirtan is there. At still soon you get up on it and hear Kirtan. While taking bath also hear Kirtan. So that is the benefit of Kali Yuga. So much opportunity to chant and hear. While going to bed also put Kirtan and sleep. One Kirtan sleep. Okay, don't disturb the devotee beside you. So what was possible, Manu Maharaj, is very much possible for us to live a life like this, centered around hearing the glories of the Lord. So devotee has to mold his life in such a way that always we are hearing the Kirtans of the Lord. So to the degree the life is molded like this, it becomes much easier. Now, after Shambhamanu went away, and Devamati had to stay with Kardamuni. And to stay with Kardamuni is not easy, because this husband has no material interest. He's simply doing tapasya. And Devamati has to just serve. And husband will do, okay, do this and do. And no reciprocation. Tumhe kuch chahiye, nahi chahiye. He simply absorbs in his meditation. But what Devamati is doing, Vishrambhena Atmasachena Gauravena Damena Cha Shushrushaya Sahardena Vacha Madhuraya. Or Vidura, Devamati served her husband with intimacy and great respect, with control of the senses, with love and with sweet words. So here two words are significant. Devamati served her husband in two ways, Vishrambhena and Gauravena. These are two important processes in serving the husband or the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vishrambhena means with intimacy and Gauravena means with great reverence. The husband is a very intimate friend, therefore the wife must render service just like an intimate friend. At the same time, she must understand that the husband is superior in position and thus she must offer him all respect. A man's psychology and woman's psychology are different. As constituted by bodily frame, a man always wants to be superior to his wife, and a woman as bodily constituted is naturally inferior to her husband. Thus, the natural instinct is that the husband wants to pose himself as superior to the wife, and this must be observed. Even if there is some wrong on the part of the husband, the wife must tolerate it. And thus, there will be no misunderstanding between husband and wife. Vishrambhena means with intimacy, but it must not be familiarity that breeds contempt. According to the Vedic civilization, a wife cannot call her husband by name. In the present civilization, the wife calls her husband by name. But in Hindu civilization, she does not. Thus, the inferiority and superiority complexes are recognized. Dhammecha. A wife has to learn to control herself even if there is a misunderstanding. Sahadena Vacha Madhurya means always desiring good for the husband and speaking to him with sweet words. A person becomes agitated by so many mental contacts in the outside world. Therefore, in his home life, he must be treated by his wife with sweet words. So now, this verse looks very, in the modern context, there. And of course, the husband also should be like Kardamuni. For a wife like to be Devati. Now, in case it's not like that, then also proper rights in the next verse. Although a wife may be equal to her husband in advancement in spiritual consciousness, she should not be vainly proud. Sometimes it happens that the wife comes from a rich family, as did Devavati, the daughter of Emperor Sambhamanu. She could have been very proud of her parentage, but that is forbidden. The wife should not be proud of her parental position. She must always be submissive to the husband and give up all vanity. As soon as the wife becomes proud of her parentage, her pride creates great misunderstanding between the husband and wife, and the nuptial life is ruined. Devavati was very careful about it, and therefore it is said that she gave up pride completely. Devavati was not unfaithful. The most sinful activity for a wife is to accept another husband, another lover. So, even if a wife is superior, she should respect the husband. Submission. Now, while we're discussing this, now here, most of the use, you're not dealing with a wife, and don't practice this shloka, otherwise your life will become miserable. Don't show this to your wife, see, be submissive. And you're going to have a tough time in your marriage life. Because some devotee was telling me, see, it's my duty, my wife should become a great devotee. I said, there's a greater mistake you're doing. And I said, how do I know? I know through my experience in Brahmacharya ashram. I said, how by through experience you know? See, very amazing. Same way, when a superior and subordinate is there, same mentality goes by. Superior wants to be seen himself to be boss, and junior should take submissive position. then life will go nicely. And if superior try to too much exert on the junior's rebellion come out. My duty to protect the junior. So same way husband think my duty is to protect the wife and too much control the wife. Then wife gets the same. So don't try that, okay, Prabhuji, we have read this purport. Now marriage life means I should make sure that this happens. And you're the most miserable husband. Same way, if an authority tries to think my junior should be like this, then will become a miserable authority. But on the other hand, and then you will see in modern days this concept have been lost. And more the concept is of woman independence. Woman is equal to man. And very difficult. Us, even when you take the topic Vedic woman versus modern woman, it's the most difficult topic to take in the Utsaha camp. Talking about. I don't know how to take for congregation the topic. Because when I take class, the level of congregation comes, people say, live in marriage, live in relationship, it's okay. What's the problem with it? I have to take that debate in talking about Vedic woman versus modern woman. In the current scenario. So, and if any statement you make, like I gave one program in ISC in Ramnavami and talked about that. That Draupadi and Sita, some past, and many questions came from home. How could can't Sita protect herself? Why he need Ram? Why she need Ram? Protect him. Why is it? So it is very sensitive issues nowadays. To speak anything is there, and people are liberal India as where women are mistreated, women are subdued. So this verse is talking about how the woman is very much woman should be submissive, and then the life will be good. And now you don't try to implement that in your married life, then you'll make you double miserable. But it can be practiced in spiritual. It can be practiced in spiritual life. How? Because when we behave submissively towards our superior, whoever giving us service is superior, or whoever is senior to the superior. So if we learn to follow this, then what happens? We develop a good quality. And then practicing Bhakti Yoga becomes easy. It helps us to purify our original envy towards God. Because when there is an envy, we will want to take a superior position. We think, why this person is superior than me? Why I should respect that person? And that happens due to envy. But by taking the humble role of a subordinate, following the proper etiquette of a subordinate, that envy gets purified in a spiritual way. That envy gets purified. And when envy gets purified, naturally one finds a great taste in bhakti. And making progress in the path of bhakti becomes very easy. So therefore, to the degree a devotee is humble and submissive to his authority, so real humility is that we are able to submit to our authority. It's a real humility. And one does that, naturally what happens? Our envy is purified. And even though subordinate is more intelligent, has more plan, but he should be submissive to the superior. Then the life is there. But if superior think, the subordinate think, I'm very advanced and I can, do what I want. The wife becomes proud. Life is right. And many examples are there. So one devotee was telling me, somewhere, some Mataji did Bhakti Vaibhav, all the courses she did. And the in-laws were very happy, our Bhavu is coming, was so very advanced devotee, because the family also was devotee. But the problem is that after doing all the Bhakti courses, why should I wash vessels in the kitchen? Why should I do all this? I'm a qualified teacher. And the family life gets ruined. So if after learning all the scriptures, we think, why should I do menial seva? Because koi aur kar dega. There, then the purpose gets lost. The vidya dadati vinyam. So to the degree the vinaya come for seva, to that degree our learning, scholarship has a meaning. And if that seva gets lost, then that scholarship does not have a meaning. It just interact our jnana section thing. And that's why doing menial services to superiors or to visiting preachers who come, it purifies our heart. When we do menial services. So this becomes a very important aspect in our spiritual life there. That our right etiquettes towards authority. And that's where all of our falsehood is purified. And you see, when we start doing big things, we start finding fault with the superiors only. He doesn't do like this, he do like this, he doesn't know how to properly manage, he's not going in the right direction, he's spending more money, he's probably more towards his comforts. So all that keep coming in our mind when the pride comes. And that pride is undetected there. But when we are humbly situated, we take, okay, my duty is let me follow instructions and let me go ahead and think. And Krishna will take care of the situation. Unless somebody is very much deviating, like, breaking four Red principles, then naturally it's the duty of a subordinate to report to higher authorities. If you find your authority is breaking four regs, then naturally it's there. But otherwise, we too much not bother and just try to do what the way it is said, because we are going to make progress by that way. And if you have to work under Krishna, it's not so easy. Every moment he will change his plans. Just think you're doing Indra Yagya. And Krishna said, don't do Indra Yagya, do Govardhan Puja. Not easy to please Krishna. You go to Golok Vrindavan, you say, no, Lord, this is the logic we should do Indra Yagya. This is the logic we should do this. This is the logic we should do that. Will Krishna be pleased? So Krishna gave a lot of logical reasons. But Nanda Baba, because of they love Krishna, he gave up and he knew I'm going to get a big result out of it. But they love Krishna so much. So when we learn to be flexible, learn to be, and in my own life I'm learning, when we make a lot of plans and then Superior said something against the plan, very difficult it becomes. And that flexibility is what required to go and make progress in spiritual life. To a degree that flexibility is there, we can grow in our life. And actually, we will say we are servant. But if we don't have a master, then how we are a servant? Servant should have a master or no? If servant has no master, then not a servant. Servant is not a master. Servant doesn't have a master. It's not a servant. And who is a master? Yes, Krishna is the ultimate master. But Krishna is not correcting us. कि तुमने ये गलत किया, तुमने वो गलत किया. Krishna has just given spoken Bhagavad Gita and left upon Guru Param. So that's what Paul said. One is the spiritual master is servant. Somebody coming as a servant of the Lord in Guru Param. Accept his spiritual master and dedicate his life towards him. Then a person actually can make progress of being a servant. And same way, to a degree, wife has that attitude, to be submissive at home. The life goes very nicely. Both husband and wife, both are peaceful. Because man will not be submissive by nature to the natural way, unless man is addicted or their handpegged husband. Man will not be. So the woman takes that role, she will be more happy. And our problem gets solved. And she will make advancement in spiritual life. Because she will be protected in advancement. But unfortunately, what has happened, the man also has become very much materialistic. And they try to exploit. And women also think, then why should follow exploitative man? Previously, men were of a spiritual nature, like Kardamuni. It was very, very spiritual. So Devhuti could submit. there. Because man would be connected to their guru and wife to the husband. So husband becomes the natural guru for the wife. So wife becomes submissive to husband. And life goes very peaceful in the life. And I think life goes on of a devotee. And life remains there. And this submissiveness is a principle. See, it's not that the submission principle has to be shown to the Lord or to a perfect spiritual master. No. This is principle. If we practice submissiveness, we grow. Our authority may not be very high-fi, but if we practice submissiveness in our life, we grow in bhakti. So to a degree we understand these principles, to a degree we give up controllership, we grow. To a degree we learn to respect all devotees, we grow. I grow. Values. Values are okay. So that is the important value in our life. That we grow by practicing the right principles. And you will learn, okay, I need to be submissive. Let me not see that the authority is at fault or not at fault. Let me be submissive. And life will be peaceful. There. And that becomes the essence of education, and that purifies our envy very fast in the heart, which becomes a blockade for chanting the holy names of the Lord. So in essence, one should be always Krishna conscious, like Sambhuman. Though you may be living in a palace, in temple, in your home, but just try to be Krishna conscious. Duration of life will just go away enjoying Krishna consciousness. And in the same way, and another principle to follow it, be submissive. Because if you're Krishna conscious, you're not submissive, mind will have trouble. And there will be some fighting going between devotees. And devotees will not be able to discuss Krishna Katha freely. Because the mind is not peaceful. Even if you sit in the class, because you're not submissive, the class will not make much sense to us. We'll feel spaced out in the class also. Because generally, the superiors who are giving class, they will also do some management interaction with you. And if you have an unpleasant day, then the class will not have much sense. Then you feel I'm left out in this place. But if you're submissive, you feel a great joy in bhakti. So these two qualities we learn from this Sambhuman and his daughter Devati. There. And Sambhuman actually glorifying Kardamuni for his submissiveness to Brahma. Because Brahma instructed you, create a progeny. Similar, Brahma glorifying Sambhuman for his submissiveness, taking the words of Brahma very seriously. Yeah, so Sambhuman. Brahma comes Sambhuman. And Sambhuman glorifying, and Brahma also comes and glorifies Kardamuni when Kardamuni actually begot the Supreme Lord. There. So this point of submissiveness and taking the order is very much glorified in Bhagavatam. So these two qualities we have, being submissive to the authorities and be always Krishna consciousness. It's very easy to make progress in spiritual life. Very easy, very simple process. And somehow in Kali Yuga, these two things are the most difficult. To be submissive and to keep ourselves Krishna conscious. Generally, in news, Google News, political things, more interest comes than hearing Bhagavatam. Something new it looks. And to be submissive is the most difficult. Because falsing. So these two things can really help us to grow in a spiritual life. And then the Kardamuni type of spiritual master who is doing austerities will bestow blessings, like Devati. Devati got son as Lord Kapila. And even Kardamuni was ready to give us license to spiritual world, but she was not ready. And she laments. You were giving me, I did not accept it, now you're going. And then Kardamuni gave Supreme Lord as a son for Devati's submissive service. Vishram Pena Gauravena. Okay, I'll continue this theme next Tuesday, but many devotees will not be there, so I took up that today. Any questions? Any questions? But yes, Mahida pose a question.
You have to know about animal, the nature of Jiva is to be happy, and when we initially some people are coming to, then we don't direct first. We first tell they develop their attraction to Krishna conscious activities before telling give this thing. So slowly when we come into bhakti also, our attraction for Krishna conscious activities are not developed that much. There is some instability if you don't develop that much attraction to Krishna conscious activities. So how do we develop more and more of that attachment
To Krishna. Regulating our life first. So, sadhana bhakti, two things require lalyam tadapi mulyam and regulation. Though we may not like it, but you regularly read power books. Regularly come for Mangalarti. Regularly we chant our rounds with service to Vaishnavas and with the lalyam to attain Krishna. Then this will happen. Just like when you go to school, we have a taste for studies? You don't have a taste for studies when you go to school. We don't have a taste for studies. But parents जबरदस्ती भेज देते हैं. They take 4 or 5 years. When the child comes in third, fourth standard, है school जाना चाहिए. Till third, fourth student, the standard child is miserable only going to school. And we always look when the rain will fall. Today I don't have to this. I remember in my childhood, I'll see that the rain is. अभी बारिश आ गया है. Stop. Yes, Savir, you have a question.
Thank you for a wonderful class. Prabhu, I wanted to ask, sometimes we hear these things and we really desire Krishna consciousness in this way to best of our capacity. But what to do when life becomes a struggle for basic stability, finance? Sometimes life takes us on.
For that, you need financial counseling.
And sometimes life takes us on a whirlpool of so many struggles for basic.
And those struggles take out the opportunity to depend on Krishna. Like Kunti Maharani, Vipta Santuta Shashvata Tata Jagat Guru, Bhakto Darshan Yasyata Apuna Bhakdarshan. So whirlpools came in Kunti Maharani's life, but she remembered Krishna and those whirlpools. The question is, sense verification, Krishna consciousness goes really together. But here Prabhupada is saying, Krishna consciousness sense in yes, sense verification, Krishna consciousness together, that is true. But people cannot give sense verification. In general, people cannot give up sense verification. So what is the solution? Be Krishna conscious, and so if the Krishna consciousness, take away your sense verification. That's how we harmonize it. And person doesn't come to know his sense verification has gone. Like initially, why most of the boys are fearful to come to DYS sessions? ये ब्रह्मचारी बना देंगे. Oh, तुम सारे friends भूल जाओगे. कुछ parties आना भूल जाओगे. Movies छुटा देंगे. There's a major people boys are fearful. Are they fearful? ये अच्छा प्रसाद खाएंगे. ये अच्छा class होगा. They're not fearful of that. Dancing कीर्तन होगा. They're fearful, सब छुटा देंगे. So therefore, for Kaliuga Jiva, you give them Krishna consciousness. And automatically they leave everything up. But you tell them you have to give up. First day only they stop. And let's say youth preaching has become difficult. Somehow the youth will come to know. Hey, Krishna consciousness वाले आ गए, तेरे को ये छुटा देंगे. बस, that's the time you think. But I leave Krishna consciousness. And that is one thing Prabhupada did intelligently. He just gave them attached to Krishna. Automatically they give up all things. And they become attached to Prabhupada. Okay. Any other question? Sir. Rudraj Madam Ki.